Well, some of you, a lot of you, may have wondered, what is this Willoughby Run where Darrell lives on the Gettysburg battlefield, and where Darrell walks often? And I'm reading from battlefields.org, formerly known as the Civil War Trust. Willoughby Run was named for early settler Willoughby Winchester. Willoughby's Run is a stream which meanders from north to south through the rolling farm fields west of Gettysburg. On either side of the stream are the ridges that were occupied by the opposing forces on July 1st, 1863. Hare's Ridge to the west and McPherson's Ridge to the east. On the eastern bank of Willoughby Run, just south of Chambersburg Pike, was a wooded area often referred to as McPherson's Woods, but it was actually owned by John Erbst. The occupation of that woodlot was deemed crucial to the Union defensive positions west of the town, according to a soldier in the 2nd Wisconsin. And the 2nd Wisconsin were directly right up that hill. Across from us here was the 24th Michigan, the Iron Brigade. And at the top of the hill, you might not be able to see it with this video, but I can see the monument to the 26th North Carolina. According to a soldier in the 2nd Wisconsin, the grove was our citadel, and in itself furnished the means of a strong defense. Every tree was a breastwork, every log a barricade, every bush a cover and concealment, and we made good use of every defensive object. To carry this position, the Southerners were forced to cross the open ground west of Willoughby Run, which is known as the Harmon Farm, where I walk often, and they were forced to cross the open ground under fire and forcibly drive the Union defenders from the woods. Confederates on the afternoon of the first day's battle did just that, but at a horrific cost. At the top of that hill, and that concludes my reading, at the top of that hill, on the morning of July 1st, 1863, two armies were firing at each other from a distance of about less than 50 yards, less than 30 yards. And in 20 minutes, 8,000 men had shot each other to death. And up at the top of the hill in that direction was old man John Burns falling in with the 2nd Wisconsin. And General Archer from Tennessee and his brigade crossed the run here. Archer was captured that day. Archer, keep something in mind. Archer and his Tennessee brigade, they led the vanguard. They charged across this run, and most of what you see in the low-lying brush here, and you can read in personal accounts the same, but all the brush down here that these men went through, back and forth, and this changed hands at least 8 times. All of this down in here is thorns and brambles and stickers, okay? There's a lot of times where I don't have a very nice time going through there. I'm lucky if I find a deer path, because almost all of that is thorns and stickers down below the waist and below. And so that's what those men, and I've read the accounts, I've read the diaries, I've read the journals, and the men back in July 1st, 1863 that arrived here reported the same. And so if you can imagine, and I don't have to imagine because I've done it, but wool uniforms, I believe the temperature this day, July 1st, 1863, was probably between 85 and 90 degrees. But in any event, guys, this is Willoughby Run. I live a couple miles to the north, and I can walk across one of America's oldest highways, the Lincoln Highway, and I'm right here on the battlefield. But actually where my apartment is, there was fighting going on there. Thousands and thousands of men fighting on July 1st, and thousands of men were crossing this ground and this Willoughby Run. back during the Battle of Gettysburg. The other strange thing is, one thing that draws me here is that I imagine and I can picture, and I know for a fact that my ancestors watered their cows here and washed here, bathed here, frolicked and played here in the run, washed their clothes, took a drink, crossed the run to go to school. My distant cousins, not so distant, probably third cousins, lived here on this ground in Gettysburg for years. And then during July 1st, July 2nd, specifically on July 2nd, their own cousins who they knew crossed this same ground from the Confederate States, from South Carolina, Virginia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. So you had Harmons and Tungats crossing this ground that Harmons lived on, and the Harmons actually knew each other. So I'm always drawn to and magnetized to places of ancestral significance, those places of the past that we have a bond to. And when I moved here, I didn't know I had this particular bond here with Willoughby Run. But there you have it, my friends, and this is a very nice thing to have a stone's throw out my front door, because I can literally look out my bedroom window and this is what I see, and I see the railroad cut. And so it's nice. It's a if I didn't have this battlefield to come out and take walks on, and honestly that's the primary reason that I moved here. I didn't move here because I'm a Civil War nut. I moved here because it's a beautiful place to walk, and it's close to my daughter, and it's full of history. Getting involved in living history was a collateral, secondary interest. The Appalachians are nearby, the Appalachian Trail, the ocean's a couple hours away. It's one of the things I like about the East Coast is that I can walk into a cemetery and I can see gravestones from the 17th century, from 1630. I dated a girl once who went to a Lutheran church, and the Lutheran church was built in 1632. There was still German calligraphy chiseled into the walls. But in any event, guys, just a little history short on Willoughby Run. And again, I was reading from battlefields.org, which is known as the Civil War Trust. And if you ever want to get your information about any battle or the Civil War, please look there. Don't look on flybynightjoeschmo.com does the Civil War. So visit battlefields.org. And they are not paying me for that plug. Have a good day, guys. The rain's picking up. I am sick as a dog. I've been stuck in my house for a week. The video that I just posted the other day was from a week ago. I've been on my couch and in bed for the last 8 days. If you tuned into my video or the last video or watched this video or any of my 179 videos for more than 3 minutes, thanks for doing so. I appreciate it. My time isn't wasted. Have a safe, happy, and healthy and successful day today, wherever you may roam. Auf Wiedersehen.